In this video, we will look at 4 essential rules for unlocking the wisdom of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. So, if you are new to Emerald Tablets or Ancient Egyptian Wisdom, but mainly Emerald Tablets of Thoth, then I suggest that you watch this video first. Because Emerald Tablets is not for everyone. This is for people who are looking for answers, and if you are someone who's been having all these deep questions about life and universe and God and the pyramids and things like that, then all of your questions will be answered. And the funny thing about Emerald Tablets is also that once you get answers to those questions, you will gain new questions. And this is something that I didn't expect would happen to me. So basically, tablets, they will not only answer your questions, but they will build you up. They will give you more questions, and then they will give you answers to those questions. So it's like a never-ending cycle. So let's begin. So before we dive into anything specific, let's agree on one fundamental principle. And that principle is that the truth is ever growing, and none of us can claim to know everything. This is very important. So you need to be open-minded. And you need to understand that the truth is always growing. And this is, of course, universal truth, but some people, they don't apply this principle when they deal with pyramids or emerald tablets. That's why I'm saying that you really need to carry this inside of you when you are looking at this, subject, emerald tablets and the pyramids. The path to understanding the Emerald Tablets requires us to question everything we thought we knew and approach this subject with humility and curiosity. Exactly. So if you think that you know everything, or that if you believe that people who built pyramids were primitive slaves or whatever, then you are not looking at it the right way. Because you are arrogant. So we must remain open-minded, constantly asking questions and seeking deeper truth, and not settling for surface level answers. This is the foundation upon which all of the wisdom from tablets rests. Exactly. So rule number 1, humility and openness to truth. This is already something we spoke about, but this is very important. In order to truly understand the Emerald Tablets, we must first acknowledge that no matter how advanced our understanding becomes, we don't know everything. The truth is not a fixed point, but a continuous unfolding. The truth is always growing, and the stronger you become, the more there is to learn. Basically, the more you know, the more you can learn. The more you know, the more you don't know. We must reject the temptation to settle for simple answers or fixed beliefs. The moment we stop questioning, we stop growing. Exactly. For example, consider how many people once believed the earth was flat, or that we couldn't reach the moon. What if the truth we currently accept about human history and knowledge is just another point on the timeline of an evolving understanding? The point here is that people who were alive, let's say 500 years ago, they had their beliefs about the world, and they had their truths about the world. And they believed that certain things are possible, and they believed that certain things are not possible. Long time ago, people really believed that, the earth was flat. The point here is that we all can be wrong, even today, with our knowledge and our science that we have today, even though we have discovered, laws of physics and we understand this universe in a good way, but still we don't understand everything. And the main point here is that we cannot be arrogant. When we look at ancient wonders like the pyramids, we can't just accept simple ideas like they were built by slaves. We need to ask important questions. How could such massive and precise structures be built with basic tools? How are these huge stones moved and perfectly aligned? These aren't just random questions. They demand real investigation. The truth about the pyramids is found in their complexity, which may point to lost knowledge or advanced techniques we don't yet understand. Imagine if Newton, Da Vinci, or Galileo had believed they had found the ultimate truth and stopped searching. The world would have stagnated. Each breakthrough they made was a stepping stone for the knowledge we build on today. Progress depends on the humility to recognize that no discovery is final. There is always more to learn. Exactly. So the cycle of learning never stops. It's like a spiral. And it just continues to infinity, basically. So it is very, very important for us to be open-minded. Rule number 2. The pursuit of truth above all else. So once we accept the need for openness, we can focus on seeking out truth above all else. Nothing matters more than the truth, because the truth will set you free. The pursuit of truth frees us from the constraints of ego, social pressure, and conventional beliefs. The truth is the guiding light, and when we follow it, we grow and become empowered. The truth will give you power. We don't care about our place in society or how others perceive us. We only care about the truth, because it is the source of all power and wisdom. That is the mindset you must have if you want to study this ancient Egyptian wisdom. Throughout history, individuals like Galileo, Socrates, and countless others have dared to seek the truth, even when it meant standing alone against the prevailing beliefs of their time. Their courage to challenge the status quo paved the way to profound discoveries, reminding us that truth grows, often comes from questioning the world around us, no matter the opposition. When we make truth our guiding principle, we acknowledge that even if it means admitting our past mistakes, the path forward is always through a deeper understanding of reality. This is very, very important. So rule number 3. Civilizations are cyclical, not linear. The history of humanity is not linear, but cyclical. Civilizations rise, fall, and rise again. If you can't accept this, then it will be very difficult for you reading Emerald Tablets. Because you are closed-minded if you carry this belief that, the civilization is linear. Basically that we just keep on growing and becoming better in one direction. But I don't believe that. I believe that we go through cycles. What goes up must come down. History is full of cycles. Nations, empires, and even individuals experience periods of growth and decline. The same applies to human knowledge and civilization. The rapid advancement in knowledge over the past few thousand years suggests there may have been advanced civilizations before the ones we currently acknowledge. I believe the ancient Egyptians might have experienced the peak of human civilization long before the time we officially recognize. This could explain technological marvels and wisdom contained in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And here we have a picture from movie Mad Max. And I know it's a kinda science fiction movie, but this scenario, Mad Max-like scenario, is not totally impossible. Because imagine world after World War III. In this scenario, modern knowledge, technology, and infrastructure could collapse, leaving future generations with little understanding of our current advancements. Much like ancient civilizations before us, we could fall and in time rise again. The wisdom and technology we take for granted today, things like internet, refrigerators, modern medicine, and other stuff, could be lost, just like the lost civilizations of Atlantis or ancient Egypt. So basically what I'm trying to say here is that if we would have World War III, and let's say we would drop nuclear bombs on each other, and let's assume that, just for the sake of the argument, that only 10% or 5% or whatever, you pick your number, would survive, that catastrophe, then all the progress that has been made up till this point would be lost. Maybe not all the progress, but, basic things like, internet, or, like I said before, medicine or airplanes and things like that, all of that would be lost if we, drop nuclear bombs on each other. But if some people manage to survive, of course they would do their best to, stay alive, and they would have children. And few generations later, maybe they would live like, Mad Max type of scenario or something similar to that. Basically, the living standard could be much, much lower, and the world would be more brutal and harder place. And I believe that this same thing happened to Atlantis and ancient Egypt. And that's why I'm saying that, the progress that civilization makes is not linear, but it's cyclical. Because as we advance and as we become stronger, we create more weapons. And those same weapons, if not managed right, could be our downfall. And we can be stuck in this loop where we constantly build up ourselves and then we destroy ourselves. That's, to me, is more logical. So consider the possibility that a previous advanced civilization existed and fell, leaving behind only traces of its knowledge, such as the pyramids and the emerald tablets. If humanity's knowledge and power can be cyclical, it would explain why there are ancient technologies that we still can't fully understand today. Many people may question the origins of the emerald tablets, especially because of the role Maurice Doreal played in translating them. But let's focus on what matters most, the wisdom contained in the tablets themselves. Regardless of how Doreal came to translate them, the message within the tablets remains powerful and meaningful. We often fall into the trap of dismissing information because we don't understand its origins. Let's not make the same mistake as the skeptics from 1,000 years ago would dismiss technologies they couldn't comprehend. You can be skeptical about Doreal and bring up his past and things he did, but you cannot deny power of emerald tablets, and you cannot deny the pyramids. The point here is that they come from something that was more advanced than what we are today. And if you can't recognize this, then this ancient Egyptian stuff is definitely not something you should be studying, because you will not be able to take in the information the right way. Because just like I said before, you need to have open mind. And don't be arrogant. Don't think that you know everything. So let's focus on the wisdom itself. Whether Doreal received the information through some unknown means or medium, just like many famous artists or thinkers claim to channel ideas, what matters is that the teachings are valuable and relevant to our lives today. It's not about Doreal, it's about the tablets and about the information that is found in the tablets. So these are the foundational ideas we will work with, and if you can accept them, we can begin exploring the deeper truth of the emerald tablets. And if you can't accept the idea that we don't know everything, or that truth evolves, or that the tablets hold significant wisdom, then it will be difficult to engage in meaningful discussion.